Welcome to Master Student, where knowledge is true wealth. Welcome to Master Student, and today we will be building on a Brother C. Freeman-El lecture. I believe this lecture came out in, it says it, July 18th, 1997. So this is a couple decades ago, but the God is giving some great information, just to keep it simple. The God is giving Moorish science, but at the same time, well, see, that's the thing about the Moors. Moor just means traveler. You know, Moor is a traveler, a nomad, excuse me, I'm butchering the word, but Asiatic individual that has knowledge, wisdom, and firm understanding of self. And Brother C. Freeman-El is one of those individuals. But let me not make this a long intro, and let's gain some knowledge. Peace to the God.
What I want to do for the three of you new folks, relatively new, is deal with the insignia of this concept of the science of self, best referred to in its antiquity as Moorish science. We start with our view of things from the problem to the answer simultaneously, that the answer solves the problem of who am I? We are in search of. We are missing three major keys. The reason I classify them as major because they're not the only keys missing, but three major keys that allow one to find the rest of the knowledge of self. Identity, self-knowledge, and self-revelation. Write those down. You're not going to read those anywhere. I haven't written them yet. And identity encompasses, first and most importantly, because we work, start, look, announce ourselves from outside in our consciousness. Identity begins with name. Everything has a name. The whole peculiar idea of Adam going around naming everything is quite a bit of work. So we know we're not talking about some guy running around planet Earth and everything he says, that's a roach, that's a butterfly, that's a bee, that kind of naming. But we're talking about an intelligence that operates in and as a thing that causes it to function, to behave, to perform certain abilities and powers. That is name. Name and nature are synonyms. The reason you have a name is because you have a specific nature. Your name correlates and corresponds with your specific nature. Even your American Negro colored name is reflective of your consciousness, your mental abilities, and your spiritual and academic or mundane talents. Understand, the universe is not partial to someone's language. It owns all of them. It promotes communication, intelligence, comprehension. It is not Islamic. It is not Arabic. It is not Sanskrit or Japanese. In the universe's path of identification and clarification, it is language. The highest language that makes reference to my thoughts are not your thoughts, my ways are not your ways, is the language of nature, which is the language of symbolism or symbology. The natural universal language, anyone speaks, they can learn one language. The Sufis demonstrate that quite appropriately. A Sufi meets another Sufi and he points to the sky. The other Sufi, who may be from Japan, Germany, Russia, Africa, or Chickasaw, Georgia, would know he's talking about infinity just because he pointed to the sky. Okay? The most similar set of language structures universal like that is that of the Masonic brethren, B-R-E-T-H-R-E-N, brethren, not brothers.
The God just said something within that 5-minute period, probably less than that. I think I started at around 2 minutes. So just within that time, let's just focus on how words have a frequency. The fact that words carry a frequency, because listen to what the God said. He says your name in so many words denotes how you will behave. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what the God said. Your name denotes your actions in a sense. And your actions represent your thoughts as well. So thoughts and actions are being represented within a name. If you're a fucking human, you're gonna do human shit. Word is born. If you're a God, you're gonna do God-like shit. You're gonna do shit that you're gonna do shit that is not of earth. You might be on earth, but that's just you walking your path. That doesn't mean that your thoughts and actions will reflect that of humanity. I find that to be a very profound perspective that the God gave, because in society currently, you hear people saying, I'm a demon. You hear people saying, I'm that bitch. I'm a real nigga. Terminologies like that. And remember, everything is relative, but I'm going to say this. A bitch is a female dog. If you're not talking about the dog star, which is Sirius, which represents a realm beyond Earth, which represents a primordial realm. What bitch are you? A fucking human? See, it goes back towards intent now. What is your intent when speaking? So that means you must have a clear intent whenever you utter any word. Because that light follows mind, not mind follows light. Light follows mind. So be aware of the shit that comes out of your mouth at all times, because you're bringing a frequency with that thought, and it will denote your function just based on your intent when uttering the word. Even, let's break down, I'm a demon. Street niggas say, I'm a demon. I'm a real nigga and a demon. He might use both in the same sentence. And what's your intent behind that? You know, are you a demon like you like to destroy shit? You a real nigga because you're doing foul shit in life that's not beneficial for anybody other than yourself? That's being a real nigga? When you helping other lost motherfuckers destroy a community that neither of you niggas own? Is that being a real nigga? That's folly. Point blank period. If I'm saying I'm a demon from an occultist perspective, I'm just telling you that I understand the polarity of God. To be God, I must be the devil. But I'm not looking at this from in a sense I am. You could look at it from so many different perspectives, especially when we talking about from an occult perspective. The occult perspective is the God perspective. Therefore, it's the demon perspective as well, or the devil's perspective. Because that's relative. All I'm talking about is energies. Don't look at this as from a deity perspective. I'm talking about energies. I'm talking about a high and a low perspective of perceiving something. So when I say I'm a demon, that just means somebody about to catch hell because you done tempted the Lord thy God. So now you're going to experience the wrath of God. Even if we're looking at it from a biblical perspective, when motherfuckers experience the wrath of God, it was always destruction. Is destruction not demonic? You know what I'm saying? So that's how I will say I'm a fucking demon. If somebody tempt the Lord thy God. Other than that, I'm not no fucking demon. I stand proud in my godhood. And being a real nigga to me is stepping up to my fucking power and staying on the path of enlightenment. I spoke my piece on the situation. I'm gonna let the God build.
Again, the old archaic language. One says, are you of the brethren? He's not asking if you're his brother, but he is asking you if you're his brother. He's letting you know he's talking about a certain brotherhood. So those three are the point of where we as a people who are disoriented about identity, we're disoriented about self-knowledge, we're disoriented about self-revelation, began it with the question, who am I? And I still insist that the Negro Christian church should be battering the pulpit with man, know thyself, and to thine own self be true, and get busy explaining what that means to those sitting in those chairs and the children at home who wouldn't come to church because they're convinced Reverend Biscuit doesn't have a damn thing to tell them. And he would have and should have something to tell them if he were interested in his own culture and his own truth. Okay. So we begin there, and we begin with the concept that appears to be religious and is not. The first thing yes, dear?
I'm sorry, what were the three again?
Identity, self-knowledge, and self-revelation.
Write that down.
Beginning with this Codex Inscriptus, the code written in, is what Codex Inscriptus in. You'll find that term in the dictionary. It is most enhanced by, again, the Masonic order and other esoteric orders, which there are numerous ones, of which we only seem to have access to one, and that's the Masonic order and the Eastern Star. The rest of them are predominantly Euro-oriented. The Codex Inscriptus is what this book is a composition of, the code written in. The dictionary is a part of the code written in. The lexicographic writer who wrote the American English Dictionary, not the English Dictionary. The English Dictionary was written in England by a fellow named Edward Johnson, S-John-S-E-N. That's the first English dictionary. Noah Daniel Webster was a high potentate in the Masonic order and was sent here to write a lexicographic dictionary, while the rest of his group, the founding fathers, put that in quote, established a American Masonic order that brought about the American Revolution. the Paul Revere ride and all that stuff, those were all Masons. The Bible, the dictionary, and the esoteric literatures of the alleged occult. Usually Christians get nervous at the knees when you say occult, because that in their head is synonymous with the devil. And all it means is hidden. Right. That's all the word occult means. It's right there in the dictionary. And books and book like this that helps to explain the code written in, the hidden knowledge, and to decode that knowledge. ISLAM, these are English words first. If I were to write that in Arabic, it would not look like that. Okay. First thing we need to know about translation, okay, so that we're not sliding from one religion to another. I, self, law, am master is the codex meaning of ISLAM. So when you hear brothers say Islam, they're not talking about Islam religion. They're talking about the codex that announces I, which is your third eye, not your ego, self, not your personality, your higher self, am, the I am of your consciousness, law, the universal law. Right. That's what you're striving to become, to embody, is the universal law of mind that is found in this very auspicious and tremendous and terrific book, the Kybalion, that covers the 7 cosmic laws of the universe, explains them clearly. Yeah. Valuable book, a tool from our ancient ancestor, the one that the Europeans call Thoth, and Hermes Trismegistus, the Greek name title for the name Tehute, which means Lord of Wisdom. Hermes Trismegistus means the 3 times master, or literally 3 times great. I, self, law, and master represent and are represented by these 5 symbols. Now, what I'm going to do is try to crash program you into the Moorish inquiry, along with a brief explanation of these 5 symbols. Virtually, those 5 symbols explain the whole of this science. As you study, you'll come to that realization. I think what I ought to do, because no one else has done it thus far, if it's in here, I don't know what page it's on. I don't have these marked as pages. I'd have to give a brief didn't I bring both of those? Oh, where's the other? Oh, right behind here. I'll put that back in just a minute. I think I better do this instead of jumping right into the birth sign, the sign of Libra, because orientation is important, so you know what we're talking about instead of us just talking. The Moorish Science Temple is a organization that was founded by a black man by the name of Timothy Drew in the early 20s. And Timothy Drew became Noble Drew Ali and prepared a pamphlet called The Koran Circle 7. Well, I'll be darned, it's not in there. I thought it was in there. And in this preparation, he organized a almost scientific religious movement around this little pamphlet and the fact that he had received a spiritual commission as prophet. prophets don't need anybody to prove that they're prophets. If they say they're prophets, they must prophesy. And they demonstrate their credentials by power and knowledge. And he was able to do that up until the time that the FOP killed him, the devil. The Fraternal Order of Police is the FOP, which is a Masonic order, because evidently he was teaching Masonic knowledge under the auspices of its correct term, Moorish knowledge, to Negroes, colored people.
What was his name? Who was Ali?
Timothy Drew was his American Negro name, who became Noble Drew Ali.
Peace to God.
Okay, just before I get into an explanation of ISLAM, let's look at this cover, which is a reasonable facsimile of the cover of the Koran Circle 7. And again, this has yet to be fully digested by the Moors around America, because what is on the cover is virtually the whole of the science in its presentation, and deeper and clearer than what's in the tablet. It's only a small tablet of about 25, 30 pages of quotes and axioms and a bit of history about Jesus. The concept of...
I'm going to pause it right here just to add this piece in. I read the Quran, the one written by Noble Drew Ali. And my brother, he actually went through the Moorish mystery system. Because that's what it is. It's a mystery system. For those who actually view it as a religion, peace and blessings to you. But you're never supposed to stay within any type of box. Whenever you confine yourself to any type of organization, religion, occult, anything of that nature, you are now confined within third density. So, peace and blessings to you. But the point of me bringing that up is he gave me the book and I read it. Like the God, C. Freeman-El just said, it's a small book. Word is bomb. Book probably as thick as 3 fingers, nigga. Word is bomb. And when I read it, I was like, this is occult information. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is occult information. And I was building with my brother, and he was like, God, when I go to the temple, they don't view this as occult information. For them, it's more like a religious practice. And yeah, you got some brothers who venture out and gain other information other than just what is presented to them. There's brothers who venture out to other information other than that which is presented to them within the Moorish Science Temple. But as a whole, I'm basically saying 85% of people in the organization stay within the limits of that which is presented. And I bring that up because when I read it, I viewed it as an occultist. So I'm like, this brother has some great knowledge of self, because all quotes that he brought up, they were all forms of Gnosticism or later day Christianity, some early day Christianity. And when I was reading it, I was having breakthroughs because I'm like, this right here is an Nag Hammadi. And once again, when viewing this type of information as an occultist, excuse me. When viewing this information as an occultist, you don't view deities as something outside of yourself. So as I'm reading this, anything about Jesus Christ, devil, I'm internalizing everything and I'm actually seeing the story for what it is. You know what I'm saying? I can read about Jesus and Christ and say, okay, now we're talking about activating certain devices within the mind, certain devices within the body. Or we're talking about the Holy Spirit. Now we're talking about a trinity of ciphers that's within. We're talking about the conscious, subconscious, and the soul. So when I view information like that, such as the Quran written by Noble Drew Ali, it's a great piece of literature that I recommend to anybody who needs foundational information. Because even if you're just leaving out of some type of religion, if you're leaving out of a religion and you want to gain some sense of enlightenment, I would definitely say go to the Moorish Science Temple and see if it's for you. That's all I can really say on that matter. Me personally, I would say this. I do not join any organization. Any organizations. None. I don't join organizations. And because of the fact that I can see through the veil, if I was still in that chamber in life, I'd probably have joined the Moors, 5%ers. Shit, who knows? The what's them niggas called? It's a group of Negroes. Peace to the gods. What the fuck are they? Hebrew Israelites. Hebrew Israelites. Hebrew Israelites. The original Hebrews come out of Coptic Kemet. Well, come out of, yeah, well, I won't say Cop. Well, I guess, yeah. Is it Coptic Kemet? It could be pre-dynastic Kemet. I actually have to do the knowledge on that. But I know the Hebrews are black people or Asiatic people or people from Africa or just people with dark skin, however you want to perceive it. And I know that Israelites is just a term for motherfuckers from Israel or follow the culture that's within Israel. They call themselves Israelites or Israelites, some shit like that. I'm probably butchering the name, but Hebrew Israelites is a name for people of the land. And I understand that Israel is just ISIS. You know what I'm saying? So that's self-explanatory. If I gotta explain that to you, I got a book that I will put on the website called, what's it called? Let me see. What is it? Encyclopedia. It's called Encyclopedia of Ancient Deities. I will put that on here on the website so you Negroes can read it and search up deities so you could understand what that energy represents. So Israel is ISIS. That's what an Israelite is. Well, of course, I'm looking at it from the pharaonic perspective. So as a fucking mortal, you gonna get what you get. You know what I'm saying? You gonna get swine. If I'm trying to throw these pearls at a fucking mortal. So I'm not on that type of time. But from, like I say, from a pharaonic perspective, Israelites, ISIS, you get the understanding. And why the fuck did I bring this up, God? Sometimes motherfuckers just be in the zone sometimes, just building. I'm starting to get used to building in front of this camera, and I be forgetting I don't have anybody to interact with me at the moment. So sometimes I can zone out and on a topic and forget what the fuck I was talking about. Right. Bringing it back to 7. The guy was talking about 7. Let the God build. Because I forgot what the fuck I was talking about. Peace to the God.
The circle. I'll just draw a circle first and then show you what I'm talking about. Symbolically divides the circle into the square. It's a presentation which automatically suggests direction. Which automatically presents the zodiac. The fact of 7 is the fact of 7 planets. Minus 2 spheres. The moon is not classified as a planet, and the sun certainly is not a planet. So 2 and 7 would give you then the 9, technically speaking, planets by inference. In the circle of 7 is and are the 12 personalities on planet Earth. There are only 12. Of all of the multiple billions of people, they all fit into this circle. Because they were all born within the sphere of 365 days at a certain time on a certain date, somewhere on this planet, which puts them somewhere in this circle, based on 12 signs, a division of 12 parts of 30 degrees each. Denotes the tribe of Israel, denotes the sons of Jacob, denotes the 12 sons of Israel, then the 12 tribes of Israel, which is a real turn of the corner. We'll may get a chance to talk about that if I don't over-elaborate here and burn up all the time. But this concept that Drew Ali presented in 1923 far exceeded anything that those earlier Moors even...
See, and that's what I was talking about earlier. The God really did understand the occult. Not a lot of motherfuckers in his organization understood it. And you can see that now in current time. But peace and blessings to him. Everybody has their own path. You know what I'm saying? So although you might not be at that level, that's cool. Some motherfuckers might come here just to reach a certain pinnacle, and then, they achieved what they came to do and shit. That's it. Like I said in prior videos, everybody comes here for a different purpose. So I did want to add this about the Zodiac. The guy was talking about the Zodiac in relation to the number 7. He says within 7 there are 12 different personalities, i.e. the ego, i.e. the Zodiac. The Zodiac is the ego. So my Zodiac falls into, Capricorn, right? So that's, I already understand the attributes, or in Gnosticism they call it the powers of God. I understand these powers these powers of God, because all is for the rise. So I understand what it is I came here to work out. Because your Zodiac tells you what you came here to work out. Not, ooh, I'm good at this. I'm like this. I'm whoopty whoop. You know what I'm saying? That's human dumb shit. Your ego tells you this is what the fuck you need to work on. This will be some shit that bounds you to earth, because your ego likes A, B, and C, or behaves, not likes, but behaves like A, B, and C, on the manner of A, B, and C. It says it, like, you search this shit up. What do Capricorns, what are the pros and cons of a Capricorn? Like, what type of shit is that, a pro and a con? Since when everything wasn't for the rise? You know what I'm saying? When was everything not for the rise? There's no such thing as a pro and a con. Everything works for my rise. If it's some shit that's viewed as a con, I mean, I just need to work on that attribute or aspect of self that needs to be improved upon. I mean, that's what I came here to do. That con or whatever the fuck the negative may be in relationship to your zodiac sign, that just says, okay, I came here to work on that aspect of self. Even the so-called pros, you came here to work on, because motherfucker might be good at something. Now your ego out of control. Oh, I know I'm good at A, B, and C. Is my zodiac says it. Now your captain head ass ego blown out of proportion because of what the fuck you read online or read in the fucking book or even channeled about your fucking ego. I know I'm good at A, B, and C. Who gives a fuck? It's all ego. You know what I'm saying? If you're good at it, you're good at it. Good for you. Don't brag and boast about the shit. Don't even wear this shit on your shoulder. Don't wear this shit as a t-shirt. None of that. Who gives a fuck? It's ego at the end of the day. That's like saying, I'm a fucking human. I'm good at A, B, and C. No. If it's not aligned with the conversation or a fucking job description, if it's not some shit that I'm doing in Rome, I'm not about to bring the shit up. When I'm in the house, it's no human shit going on. It's barely human shit when I'm in Rome. So the point I'm making is keep your fucking ego in check at all times, because it's easy to get sucked into these lower thoughts of man. In actuality, it's very easy to get brought down to your lower nature. Excuse me. I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to let the God speak. You must stay in the middle point. If you choose not to stay in the middle point, word is bond. You will constantly get pulled one way and pulled the other way. That's not balance. That's not my eye. But I can't even say that, God. That is balance, because life is about ups and downs. So that is balance. I'm going to say this. I'm going to speak for myself. I'm not going to allow the ethers to just pull me around, because I don't have control over self. I'm not going to allow just the ethers to pull me left and right. That's unacceptable for me. Like my master teacher said, I will stay polarized in my position as God. I'm going to let the God build.
Expected. It was just a symbol for him, you know. And of course it harassed and harangued the Orthodox Muslim. That is not Quran. That is Koran. Okay? Okay, and it needs to be understood. Those are two different words that have virtually almost nothing to do with each other. Secondly, even Q-U-R-A-N is English, but K-O-R-A-N is also English. Now, the first time I noted this, it was on the marquee of a Masonic order in Cleveland, the Al-Quran Lodge, and something else. And it didn't click. You know, nothing up here happened. I mean, it was just, you know. Years later, it clicked. How come they spelled it with a K and they... That's all you have to do is ask. And the Spirit will give it to you. I had never asked, you know, until recently. I'm going to abbreviate these, write them down. That's knowledge. That's order, universal order.
Write this shit down.
That's rhythm, R-H-Y-T-H-M. The strangest word in the dictionary. There are no vowels in the word rhythm that depends totally upon vowels. In delineation and understanding how rhythm works. Where's my... Astrology. And last but not least, most assuredly, nature. The nature of God, man, and the universe. All of nature is what man must study. The real meaning of Quran, or Quran, giving it its Negro English flavor.
I'm sorry, you say nature is God, nature and man?
Nature, God's nature, man's nature, or rather woman's nature from which you come out of, and the nature of the universe, which includes flowers, bugs, ants, turtles, birds, you name it, you got it. All of nature is what man is to study and to master. See? I'm catching myself. I almost went back to Sunday and get on Reverend Biscuit's case. I'm going to leave him alone. Okay? That's what Quran Circle 7 is. Okay? First, the key here is knowledge. What kind of knowledge? Knowledge of order. There is no creation without order. There's nothing you can do in the universe without order. It is a primary that man understands the order of nature. The order of his body, how it works, what it does, what it functions, what it cannot do, and what you cannot do to it.
That's a fact.
And the laws that govern the universe, that sets the foundation of order, those are invisible. You can't break them. They will break us. It is the Volkswagen going up a one-way street, and here comes a Max truck. Okay? That's universal order. Okay? We need to know those. That's why I'm forever pushing this in black folks' face, even though I don't get a chance to talk to them for a couple of minutes. Well, brother, you ought to read the Kybalion, and I learn how to get in the wind and stand there arguing with him about, brother, the name of God is Yahweh. It's Yahweh, bro.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly. You see, God
20
like,
minutes.
Yeah, okay. Some dumb shit. Right.
Clearly in the
Whole
Hebrew,
niggas.
it
Some
has
blessings.
4 glyphs. How can you get 2 syllables out of 4 glyphs? Okay? Just a little side parenthesis thing. We're not thinking when it comes to God. We're obeying. We're being blindly led and following blindly, believing. That's not where we are. We aren't in a belief system. We're going to a knowledge or knowing system of cycles is what I mean by system.
That's a fact, God.
Okay, so that should be pretty clear.
let's build on that
But
real
first,
quick.
am I looking for my sister?
Let's build on that. So the God said we're leaving out of a belief system. I don't even want to say we. I'm not a part of humanity. Word is born. You know what I'm saying? I give no fuck if the fucking world blows up. I give no fuck. You know what I'm saying? I come here to do my job. This bitch blows up, I understand my job is done. Word is born. So I'm going to say this. Society is leaving out of a belief system. A decent amount of people in society, I should say, are leaving out of a belief system and going into a knowledge-based system. And that can just be shown by the likes, the like number or view count on this video from 5 years ago. It was posted 5 years ago. Came out in 97. 300 and some thousand motherfuckers didn't watch this. Pretty sure a decent amount liked it as well. 300,000 motherfuckers tapping into this type of information. I'm pretty sure the people in that room in this video is probably about anywhere from 5 to 10 niggas. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's probably how it was for a good amount of time. Fuck around, every lecture was about the same 5 to 10 niggas. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe a different variation of 5 to 10 niggas. So for 300,000 motherfuckers to be tapped in on this information, that's a good example that shows motherfuckers are leaving out of this belief system and going to a knowledge-based system. Belief is blind faith. Faith is good. Word is born, because in order to manifest anything in life, you have to have faith in self. You have to have a clear intent, and that you have to have belief in your intentions based on the knowledge that you already have of self and whatever it is you plan to manifest. So it always goes back to knowledge. It's not no, Jesus, please help me. Word is born. I need my bills paid. You lazy, dumb, stupid nigga. But you will get your bills paid. You never know when, but some people pray and get their fucking bills paid. That's just because of the nature of mind. You know, when so many people put this psychic energy on a cipher, such as Jesus, and they deify something that doesn't exist, it becomes real. When you understand psychology and the nature of the mind, you understand motherfucking, what's a good example that everybody knows? Santa Claus. That's perfect. Think of all the children in the world that believe Santa Claus is real. For those children, Santa Claus is fucking real. You might even have a child to tell you they saw fucking Santa Claus. Or they had a dream of seeing Santa Claus. Or whatever the fuck the case may be. Just know Santa Claus is a real nigga. I had presents by the tree. My cookie was bit. And he drank the cup of milk. You know what I'm saying? Santa Claus is a real nigga. That's a conviction. That's a belief in evidence, which is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You have proof that this shit works and it's real. The cookie was bit. The milk was drunk. Santa Claus is real. Now you go off life. Oh yeah, Santa Claus got me A, B, and C. It isn't until somebody tells you otherwise. Oh no, that was your parents. Whoop-de-whoop. And even then, you have to literally say, you're right. Not you're right in the sense of, I'm not about to argue with you, you're right. But in the sense of, you're right, and my prior thought was flawed. So I'm leaving that old way of thinking, and I'm focused on this new way of thought now. So maybe Santa Claus isn't real, and my parents just ate the cookie and drank the milk. It's the same shit in regards to organized religion and motherfuckers believing in Christ. So you can pray to Jesus or whoever the fuck you pray to. And because you have this conviction, this belief, shit will manifest for you. Because you have in mind as a collective, there's a collective of motherfuckers across the globe that believe in Jesus Christ. So as a collective, this energy is already charged up. And motherfuckers have this conviction within their own mind that, yeah, Jesus looks like this, behaves like this, and will do A, B, and C if I give my energy, my devotion towards this energy outside of myself. Versus if we just look at it from the knowledge perspective, there's so many fucking ways you can break down how Christ itself, I'm not finna go on that. Read the book Who is the King of Glory by who made this? Alvin Boyd Kuhn. You know what I'm saying? You can read that book by him, and he's talking about, he gives you a bunch of fucking scholarship. This is just put it like that. He gives a bunch of fucking scholarship on how Christ is actually an attribute of self. And it's an energy that anybody can raise within their own subconscious mind and within the body in general. Because you have to raise your kundalini to even anoint Christ, which is basically just a form of awakening. And the whole dying on the cross shit, that's all symbolism. The God, early in the video, he was talking about symbolism and how, I forgot what the God was saying. He said something about symbolism early on, but bringing it back to what I was talking about, if you view this information from a mortal perspective, you're going to receive mortal results. You view it from a God perspective, you will get divine results. Divine simply means that which is aware. You're going to receive awareness based on knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But if you focus on religion, you're going to receive human shit. Peace to God. Oh yeah, one more thing. Remember to believe in yourself rather than believing in something outside of you. Peace.
That explains this 7. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 1.
Hey, teacher, while you getting into the scripture there.
Speak up. Speak on.
Okay. So you said something about the universal language?
Symbology. We're going to get back to that as soon as I put this back up here.
Is the space, such as a smile, is that universal that every culture knows what a...
Yeah, but there are a series of smiles. You can smile with such cold endeavor, you turn the person you're smiling at to ice. Or you can warm a person's heart with a smile. Yes, that's part of nature's symbology. Right, yeah. But we're talking greater than that, you see. In terms of when the sun moves over the horizon at a certain point, it's moving over the horizon so that everyone on the planet can see it. So if the Chinese man measures the movement of that sun position where he is, and the Negro measures the sun where he is, though they even on different days, they're talking degrees, they'll come up with the same calculation if they begin with 0 degrees Aries, which is Madras, India, and not Greenwich, England. Is what we use over here. Okay. This would be 0 degrees. So any astrologer, astronomer would know that's 0 degrees in any language, because this is in every language. Okay. He doesn't have to know circle. The Chinese has another name for it. Okay. But they know here is where the sun is viewed on its horizon, supposedly moving up. Okay. That's universal. Okay. The 5-pointed star, which can be found on a leaf in your backyard and in the backyard of Ho Chi Minh's grandson. Okay. That's universal language. I slice open an apple, Macintosh called here. A Greek boy slices open the same kind of apple, and we'll both see a 5-pointed star in the apple. And he's going to call it something else, and I'm going to call it something else. But it's the same shape. That's universal language, created by nature, designated by nature intelligently to make reference to something to us intelligently.
Symbolism.
So nature is a higher order.
Is the blueprint of what things mean.
But God is the highest of the order.
And God is nature manifested. It is not different from God.
Right.
You see? Again, we get into a term, a word, G-O-D.
Right.
Then over here, the brother said, it is Allah, brother. And the brother over here, it is Yahweh, brother. It's Jesus. We're getting confused. But nature isn't confused by what I say, Japanese, Chinese. That doesn't change, disturb nature. That's why it's important to understand the function, the power, the ability, the meaning of nature. It does not change.
Can man alter nature?
We are obligated to. Why we're not getting anywhere? Because we're not understanding that. See, we're not trying to do what lower nature is doing. Lower nature stays apart. The bunnies stay over here and the snakes stay over there, and when they get together, the bunny's ass is in trouble. See, we're trying to bring nature together to make it harmonize, while we remain uniquely, distinctly different in our uniqueness. See?
But if that's the case, teacher,
That's a profound perspective. That analogy is something else. That analogy is really something else. The God just, y'all heard what the God said. So let's look at it from this perspective. I believe it was Malcolm X. He was telling niggas go back to Africa. You know what I'm saying? We go to Africa. We do our own thing. What the bam. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with it to an extent. But my thing is, let's just, I just brought that up as another correlation, but let's look at it from this perspective. Why be around mortals if you're on God's shit? Why be around motherfuckers that don't even know who they are while you have this profound understanding of self? It makes no sense. That is why I walk my path in life as a God, because I understand that, and I need to really stop saying God, because based on knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, I'm actually beyond the God. God is a thought that was created by man. I existed before man was created. So I'm actually, I would call myself a self-begetter, self-generated, auto-created. You know what I'm saying? I created myself. there was nothing to create me. I've always existed. Therefore, my creation, the creation of my being, my essence, I should say, just my being in general, my essence, however you want to perceive it, has always been and always will be. I have a decent understanding of the beginning. Therefore, I know I have no end. And just to bring it back, I know I went on a little rant, but just to bring it all together, the guy said, you don't mix snakes with the rabbit, because the rabbit's going to get fucked up. And we looking at it from a lower nature perspective. But I can't even say he said lower nature because he's looking at it from the animalistic perspective. But, excuse me, raise it up to your Godhead for a minute. And like I said, don't be around humans if you're on God shit. Because all that's going to do is, two things can happen. It's either going to bring you down to humanity, or you can fuck around, raise somebody else up, not raise them up, but you can enlighten them, and hopefully they have some type of awakening or self-realization, and they begin to raise up to their Godhead. But you can't wake anybody up, It's like in the Matrix. Neo had to take the pill. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody was finna force the nigga to take the pill. He had to take the pill. He could have said, fuck it, threw the pills away. Nobody's about to force this motherfucker to take the pill. You have to wake yourself up. And I'm not talking like they be in the media woke, all of this. No. When I say motherfuckers is sleep or awake, I'm simply talking about you don't understand who the fuck you are. You don't understand your beginning, therefore you don't know your end. And if you don't know your beginning and therefore you don't know your end, understand that that's true death, because you have no understanding on life itself. You have no understanding of how to maneuver outside the realms of time. That's true death. For this is an illusion. So if your mind cannot expand beyond space and time, you's a dead motherfucker. And that's a fact. The God just gave a profound perspective. I'm just still building on it in my mind. Like, I've been hearing this from so many different teachers. You don't cast pearls before swine. You just don't do shit like that. It's the same analogy said differently regarding the snake and the rabbit. And the individual with the God mentality versus the fucking human. You don't mix the two. Now, of course, have discernment. You have a 9 to 5 and shit. You working a job, whatever the fuck the case might be, even if you own a business. You're going to interact with mortals. Just understand, my human shit is the human shit. My God shit, I'm a fucking scientist. I'm an occultist. I'm a fucking astrophysicist, or let's not even say astrophysicist. I study the quantum realm. So however you want to perceive that, you know what I'm saying? Just keep it separate. Point blank period. Keep your work separate. Don't mix the two. When you try to mix the two, Like the God said, somebody gonna get eaten up. In other words, something's gonna fuck up either on your end or the other motherfucker's end. But there will be a decline in some way, shape, or form because you're lukewarm. You're not firm in your godhood. You're going back and forth. You're being swing left to right within the cycles of time. Like I said earlier, stay polarized in your position as God. I'm gonna let the God build.
To trying to bring harmony with nature, why are we so far apart as human beings?
For three reasons: identity, self-knowledge, and self-revelation. This is not just black folks' problem. The European, the Oriental, has the same problem. Not as pronounced as ours, because someone deliberately scrambled our collective heads. You see? So we're trying to unscramble it.
Do you think that would ever be?
I think we're getting away from what I'm talking about. Okay, let's get back here. Otherwise, we'll miss the time slot we allotted here. Well, I wanted to read and write this down so you can read it later. Proverbs chapter 9, verse 1. Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn out her 7 pillars. Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn out her 7 pillars. You can read the rest of it yourself. Note, it does not say wisdom he. Did anybody hear that? It said wisdom her. This is the mother Zodiac. Okay. In the real, let me do it this way here so I don't get, I could have used 2 U's or 1 U. In the Greek, you'll find it 1 O for Zodiac. In the Moorish, it is Zodiac. And up further, it is Zodiac. 2 U's or 1 U. Okay, it gets to be an intellectual problem of jerking off, really. But we're talking about the meaning of things. This is the Greek word for zodiac. It is allegedly presented by one of the founders of the Moorish Science Institute to be the ancient Moorish term for Zodiac, the mother, the woman that no one knows from whence she comes, is referred to as the mother Zodiac. In the esoterica of both Masonic, Moorish, and other sciences, this is Isis as a symbological representation, who said, no man, I am, first the statement is, I am she who is and was, and no man has lifted my veil. Okay? That's the mother Zodiac as Isis. And of course, Isis is a Greek word. Okay? Okay, we've got that little puzzle solved. Now let's jump back here and briefly indulge in these 5 wonderful letters and symbols. The crescent and the star is not of the religion of Islam. The religion of Islam does not have any symbolism. It is anti-symbolic. It considers it to be idolatry. That's why they were responsible for tearing up much of your ancestors' relics in, quote, ancient Egypt, burning stuff and breaking down stuff, that you all were all idolaters, idol worshipers. In the name of God, they did this wonderful deed. This is Cancer, the moon. I'll do this quickly. The 5-pointed star. Cancer, the moon, is the mother. The 5-pointed star is the sun. It then coins to mother and son. My son, which is what, young lady? I'm not talking to this young lady specifically. I want to see if she's with us.
Okay, wait.
You don't have to write, look.
Okay.
Ma, son, mother and son is what?
Mason.
Thank you. That's all I want to know. All right. Okay. That's not on any Quran anywhere on planet Earth. It's on a flag. The flag is not Quran. It's not Islam. That's Moorish flag used by Arabic government. I is the third I, is the I this I is talking about in the esoteric. And it's important because your ego wants to get in here and go, it is me. I am God and I have... And believe me, it gets in there. There's nothing mythic about that. Self is represented by this grand building in Giza, 3.5 degrees north of the exact center of land mass is where the Pyramid of Giza is found, which is mentioned in Isaiah chapter 19, verse 24. The perfect building is what it represents, and is given in Maxium, the building not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. The body is that building as a representation. This was a temple, not a burial site. And of course, we know that your body is the temple of the perfect building. All the mathematics on planet Earth is found, has been found and measured and extracted, most of it anyway, from that remarkable piece of architecture. That's the representation of the spiritual self, okay, and not the physical self, okay? We're talking symbology here, and we're talking about right back there. Okay. Question is, what is a African building doing on American money with Latin letters on it? It's a question some curious American Negro color fellow might ask himself. And why is the eye raised above the building? Is another question one should and could ask oneself. I self-law. The compass and the square is the means of measuring law. The compass measures the circle. The square, right angle, measures the line and proves the corners of the line. In all of the design of creation, there are two things: the circle and the line. That's it. The whole of creation is the circle and the line. There is nothing else. In the architectural design of universe, there is the circle and the line. There is nothing else. Yes, sir. The G represents not God in the theologic sense. A, geometry. G, geometry. Or B, geometry, which is the circling of things. And of course, the Greek word, Greco-Latin, gnosis, which means knowledge, is why the G is in the center of the Masonic insignia of compass and square that then denotes this particular symbol. Referred to as what? What is it referred to as? Somebody? Anybody? Speak up, speak out. Not star. What kind of star? No, it's not 5 points. Y'all know what it is. Don't you Christian Jews be hiding back here. We know y'all think that's the Star of David. Don't you? That's what they told us, isn't it? I'm trying to quickly breeze through here and show this. Well, in terms of what we have already been miseducated to the meaning of things is what I'm getting at in order to be corrective. I can't flash through it and come up with it. Flash through it and come up with that for me, my brother.
Could it represent that the top is no more important than the base, and the base is no more important than the top?
No, it could not.
Okay.
What else does it represent besides?
5 points.
Now, where you've seen it. That's not. How do you get 5 points out of it?
She said 5 points.
So you just gonna say 5 points? Okay. What else? Where else have you seen this? Here in America, here in Atlanta, here in Georgia. Ma'am. Well, we've already underlined the fact of the marshal's badge, the highwayman's badge. And what is he wearing on his head? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Right in your face. Right? Right there. Okay. As above, so below. As within, so without. That's the law of correspondence. It is not Solomon's, David's, Billy, or whoever.
Of correspondence.
Of correspondence, the law of correspondence. As above, so below. Whatever is going on in your head is going on in your body. Whatever is going on inside your body is going on outside in your life. That's the way it's immediately relevant. Then it gets to be whatever is going on in the heavens is going on the earth. Whatever is going on the inside of the heavens is going on the inside of you in your spiritual, astral, invisible body. Okay? That's the law of correspondence. You keep that universal principle as you look at things moving in your world to comprehend why, how, you see. Because the law of correspondence keeps working. See, with the other part of universal law.
Can I answer?
Yes, dear.
So are you saying,
So I'm gonna speak my piece on this. The God just said the law of correspondence has to do with as above, so below. As within, so without. This is a principle that is part of 6 other principles, making it a total of 7 principles that are found in the Kabbalion. These are also termed Hermetic principles, which bring back the origin of these principles to Kemet, or the land of Kim, also known as Egypt. And I think I said this earlier. Wherever your mind is, that's where light will be, or that's where light will not be. That's as above, so below. That's as within, so without. always be aware of self from a holistic perspective, especially your thoughts. Your thoughts tell you so much about what's going on with you on a physical, mental, and spiritual or astronomical level. You must be in tune with self at all times in order to receive information through symbols from the subconscious mind. I can't stress this enough to anybody. Leave the human shit for the humans. Just focus on improving yourself and tapping in with your divine mind. One of these days I will create a video saying how I go about doing so, but at the moment it's a lot of work out there, such as cyclomancy. I have cyclomancy right here. This is a great book on techniques on how to utilize the mind. This is also a good book. It talks about, I know this is random, but this is a good book. Musa and the All-Seeing Eye, A History of Moses. Another small book similar to the Quran or Quran. You heard of God. But great book. Also breaks down the cult of Yaqub. But cyclomancy, this is a great book, man. It's just, it say the secrets of mind control. Don't think of it as mind controlling somebody else. This is about controlling your own fucking mind. Fuck controlling somebody else's mind. I give no fuck about doing so. For real, I give no fuck about controlling anybody outside of myself. Even having the mentality to control somebody else is like some egotistical dumb shit. You trying to control motherfuckers and you don't even got full control over self. It's folly. But bringing it back to what the God was talking about so I can wrap this up is be aware of what's going on with you on the physical all the way up to a non-physical level. And there's different degrees in between and at the certain extremes as well. So just be aware from a holistic perspective, because you'll receive so much information about that which you need to work on, regardless of if it's at the Godhead to your animal self or somewhere in between. As long as you're tapped into self, you'll hear God say, I got a download, or I had a channel. In so many words, you'll get the information either in a dream, or it'll just be that thought in your mind like, hey, do A, B, and C. Or it might just be a word, or whatever the fuck the case might be. It'll be a thought in general. You know what I'm saying? It'll come to you, and that'll be what you need to work on and what you need to focus on improving. Because if you don't improve one aspect of yourself, it's going to trickle down from the animal self to the Godhead. Everything is just going to have a domino effect because you're out of balance. Remember, Mayad is an aspect of self. So if balance is not present within self, you fall down to the lower natures of man. You fall down into the double lion, into the ego, into humanity. Peace and blessings to all the gods and goddesses that's tapping in with this information. And I really hope that you gain light from not only the God C. Freeman-El, but also the light I share through my work that I've been doing over the course of a couple years. I haven't been on this path too long, but long enough to where I'm comfortable to get on a camera and actually share some information. I'm only doing this camera shit because I understand that I'm at a point on my path where I can give wisdom without putting my opinion too much in shit. And if I do put my opinion in it, I'm gonna let you know this is my fucking opinion. I'm gonna let you know this is my thought. Here's a fucking book. You know what I'm saying? I got books on the website. Fuck what I'm talking about. Go read it. You know what I'm saying? Really, you don't have to listen to shit I'm saying. The only reason I'm saying this information is because I done did the work. And I'm still doing the work. Job's not done. If the job was done, word is bond, we wouldn't even be having the conversation. That's how you know my job is done. I wouldn't even be in flesh. My job is done. So I'm still going through the works, and I'm just happy that people are listening to this information and gaining light from it. So, like I say, peace to the gods and goddesses, and thanks for tapping in and learning. Peace.
Walking my own path, a follower would never understand the leader. Life a bitch, but I still won't mistreat her.
Transfer light to my kin so they